Before the expedition set off again, the crew spent a few days ashore, where they wrote their last letters home and enjoyed what relative warmth they could. In the letters, they said the officers had already begun their scientific work, tracking the weather and other natural phenomena. Franklin had also reportedly banned swearing and drunkenness, but there were doubts about how effective that would be with the sailors. But overall, the crew was confident and excited. They were about to step off on the adventure of a lifetime and mark their names in the history books. The expedition set sail once again on the 12th of July, 1845, with 129. Two whaling ships met up with them in Baffin Bay, waiting for an opening in the ice before seeing them off into a large channel known as Lancaster Sound. This was the last time the Franklin expedition was ever seen alive. After entering the channel, they just vanished, and it would take over 150 years and dozens of expeditions and investigations to piece together what happened to them. These investigations are even still ongoing, but here is what we do know. Sailing was slow in the north. Even during the summer, most channels are packed with ice, and the ships need to push floating chunks of ice out of the way as they progressed. If this was done too quickly, this would gradually damage the ship's bows and potentially sink them. This would also show one of the first nails in the expedition's coffin, which had always been there, it just hadn't been realized yet. The steam engines carried by both ships, which powered their revolutionary brass propellers, could only produce 25 horsepower at 4 knots. This was only a tenth of the power of icebreakers less than half their size had at the time. This feature wasn't a mystery, however, as the Admiralty had only included 12 days worth of fuel for the steam engines, which would have been much better used for heat than propulsion. It's likely that these were seen as more of a psychological benefit to the crew and to the British public, and were only of very limited use. As a result, the expedition would only travel around 800 kilometers, navigating around Cornwallis Island, before circling back to Beechey Island by the first winter freeze. This put them only around 350 kilometers from Baffin Bay where they began, but all things considered, this was actually decent progress.